On the heels of a Bash in Berlin premium live event that saw Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest avenge Torment at the hands of the Judgment Day, Gunther retained his World Heavyweight Championship against Randy Orton, and CM Punk defeat Drew McIntyre in a punishing strap match. Monday Night Raw hit the USA Network airwaves from Denver with a jam-packed show. What went down, and how did it affect the red-hot storylines across the flagship brand? Find out now with this recap of Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Hey there, welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and Streaming.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We are maybe awaiting the presence of the phenom Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. Or if not, then we'll hope to have him back with us Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness. Monday Night Raw live tonight from the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado, the home of the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche, of course. And big night tonight, as it was the Monday Night Raw debut of new play-by-play voice Joe Tessitore from ESPN and ABC, alongside of Wade Barrett. They will be your Monday Night Raw announce team for the remainder of this calendar year. Before, of course, the big move to Netflix in 4 months. But Michael Cole and Corey Graves, you can catch them Friday nights on SmackDown. And that starts this Friday night when they go to Edmonton for the final show on Fox. But right now, let's get into tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw. As we started it off with an in-ring segment, Rhea Ripley kicked off the show feeling better than she has in weeks after she and Damian Priest dispatched of Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan at Bash in Berlin. She felt so good that she turned her attention to the Women's World Championship and was about to challenge Liv Morgan when she was interrupted by Dominic Mysterio. A back and forth on the mic ensued before the reigning champ, before Liv attacked from behind. Rhea got caught in the ropes and threatened by a 2-on-1 beating until Damian Priest made the save and sent the heels to the back. The ongoing rivalry involving the Terra Twins and Judgment Day has been one of the hottest programs in WWE, following up the premium live event with a star the magnitude of Ripley and letting the audience know that her victory in Germany was but a chapter in the bigger story was the right decision. How the teased ankle injury caused by getting caught up in the ropes affects her pursuit of the Women's World Championship bears watching, as does any further escalation of the rivalry. Wade Barrett kicked off the show by introducing the new voice of Raw, the great Joe Tessitore. He has a booming voice, legitimacy on the headsets, and will thrive once he settles in at the commentary position. Rhea Ripley is a megastar, is booked like one, and is treated as such by the fans. She can legitimately headline a major event and is believable in that role. Great way to start off the show here tonight. So, good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. What a start for Rhea Ripley. Then she got her foot caught in the rope. Damian made the save that it's safe to say Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan on a collision course for that Women's World Championship.
Absolutely. A great way to start the show, no doubt about it. I really had to hold my breath when Rhea's leg got caught because that looked bad. That absolutely looks bad. I don't know if that was scripted. I don't know if that was just a botch and they just made it work. When that happened, it really looked very interesting to say the very least. So yeah, this was a great way to start it off on Monday Night Raw, and it set it up for what undoubtedly was going to be the rest of the night. So yeah, nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
All right, MF, and we're going to start off the matches portion of the show. A 6-person mixed tag team match. The Creed brothers and Ivy Nile squaring off against Akira Tozawa, Otis, and Maxine Dupree. Basically, it's American Made versus the Alpha Academy. Of course, Chad Gable in the corner of American Made. And American Made wins the match 11 minutes and 1 second. But after the match was over, Chad Gable gets on the mic and he calls out the Wyatt Six. And he issues the challenge for next Monday night. An 8-person mixed tag team street fight. Oh, Calgary. That's all I'm going to say on that. So And later in the show, Uncle Howdy accepted the challenge, and it's official. Next Monday night, season premiere of Monday Night Raw from the Saddle Dome in Calgary. 8-person mixed tag team street fight. Wyatt Six versus American Made. MF, your thoughts on all this? First off, American Made winning the 6-person mixed tag in 11:01.
Yeah, no, this is a solid fight. This is about maybe about a 3-star bout. I thought they did a really good job with it. It could have been better in certain areas, but I will say it was solid for what it was worth. I really think it was an enjoyable match. Everybody played their role very well, so it was a nice win for American Made. They really needed it, the victory more than anything else. So yeah, there was really nothing more to add. I thought they did a really good job. So Anthony, it's yours. 3 stars.
Yeah, 3.25. The match was better than it had any right to be. A fun 6-person mixed tag match that highlighted the 2 men's teams before shining the spotlight on Maxine Dupree. And after the match was over, Chad Gable ran his mouth about the Wyatt Six and issued a challenge for an 8-person mixed tag team street fight next week. Uncle Howdy appeared and accepted, so we're going to get that in Calgary next week. Chad Gable fired up his team before their entrance, still angered by the loss to Uncle Howdy in the main event of last week's show in Providence. Maxine launched herself off the top rope and wiped out the heels before the break. She has great energy and remains one of the more likable underdog babyfaces on this show. The Otis hot tag might be the best in the business. The crowd comes alive for the big man's entry into any match. And then Howdy said, referencing the passing of his brother Bray Wyatt, 375 days, my sanity crumbled. Oh, powerful stuff right there indeed. So 3 to 3.25. I 100% agree with that, MF. So let's move on for the next match. As it was Shayna Baszler squaring off against Zelina Vega. And it was Shayna Baszler winning the match in 6 minutes and 34 seconds. This was this was about 2.25, 2.5. To be honest with you, this was set up for another tag match, and at the post-commercial vignette that saw Lyra Valkyria claim to have a plan ahead of Raw next week in Calgary was any indication, it appears as though we may be in store for the return of Natalya. It was nice to see Lyra Valkyria back after a few weeks away. She lost momentum, and hopefully this is a step in the right direction toward recovering it. And Sonya Deville, great post-match promo, said, "There's not a man in this building who can take us home, and there's not a woman who can take us, period." Killer line. I liked it. So nice little comment there. But so-so match here. I could probably say this was the worst fight of the night if I'm going to be honest with you. 2.25, 2.5. That's the best I can go. So MF, it looks as though we're going to have Zelina Vega, Lyra Valkyria, and very highly likely Natalya against Pure Fusion Collective next week in Calgary.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's probably the route they're going to go. You know, Natalya did indeed sign a contract extension to bring her back to WWE. She is the longest tenured member of the roster, and she is the mother hen. And on top of that, being in the Saddle Dome in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, it seems like this would be the perfect spot, the perfect moment to bring her back. And I know she'll get a nice welcome back home. I obviously, with a lot of the news that's been going on in Calgary, especially with the shocking and horrible death of Johnny Gaudreau, who was actually a Calgary Flame. Some of his better years were with the Calgary Flames. Yes. Calgary has been mourning his loss immensely. Not only him, but also in Columbus as well. I mean, it was a shocking turn of events. But I think to bring Natalya back, would be the right thing to do, because, like you said, it's Hart family. That's Hart family territory that's Hart family dynasty down in Calgary. So to bring her back would be absolutely the right call. So nothing more to say, Anthony. About 2.5 stars. It is yours.
All right. We're about to get into possibly the segment. I think this was actually the segment of the night here. Well, one of two anyway. CM Punk cuts a promo, but then he was in. Here's the thing. He called out Gunther. He wanted to be the next challenger for Gunther and the World Heavyweight Championship. Until he was interrupted by Drew McIntyre, and then Drew McIntyre absolutely positively beats the holy you-know-what out of him and destroyed that CM Punk bracelet with AJ and Larry on it, and then shoved the remnants of that into Punk's mouth and gave him several claymores, and then attacked him while CM Punk was tied to that stretcher. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Now, I did hear a rumor that there is a big rumor, a rumor that went around earlier today that we could possibly see Gunther and CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm hearing Survivor Series. That's what I'm hearing. Survivor Series, War Games, Thanksgiving weekend, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Put that on top of that presumed Bloodline War Games match. Oh, that's a 2-match show right there. So you could sell Survivor Series on those 2 matches alone. So, but we'll see what happens. But all in all, MF, wow. Whoa. Punk and McIntyre. Punk was saying, yeah, I want Gunther. I want the World Heavyweight Championship. McIntyre says, not on my watch. Oh my goodness, Drew McIntyre. Wow. What a beatdown.
No, I think the only other beatdown I could think of would have to be the one in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
Where Punk was left in a bloody heap. But this one's even worse because he destroyed the wristband. He destroyed that memory of AJ and Larry, and the one thing that we were talking about was that wristband and what it meant, and we know what it means for Punk. To take it to that level, Drew McIntyre did. That's point of no return. Like this, we've seen rivalries, we see craziness, whatever you want to call it. Now we've gone to a whole new level. So yeah, without a doubt, there's really nothing more to say. This, like you said, this just got real on so many levels. So yeah, nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
This was an effective angle that set up a third and decisive match between Punk and McIntyre, presumably at Bad Blood on October 5th from Atlanta. Given that event's rich history, including the advent of the Hell in a Cell, it stands to reason that we could see an appropriately intense third encounter and blow-off between these two. Punk said, now that personal is out of the way, it's time to get to business. And then Punk said it has been a long time since he woke up as champ. From the looks of things, it will be a bit longer. The goal is gold. And then Tessitore saying there was something delightful about Tessitore describing the arrival of McIntyre. He said it's Drew McIntyre in a hoodie. So, yeah. Segment of the night for me, no doubt about it. And, oh, yeah. We're definitely getting this. And they got to do it inside Hell in a Cell. They have to. So, see what happens. All right. The first of the two Intercontinental Triple Threat matches for this week. Of course, we already know. As we saw last week in Providence, main event Jey Uso won his match. Pete Dunne won his match. So you got Jey Uso and Pete Dunne in the big Fatal 4-Way next week. And now the winner of this next match will get the third spot in that 4-Way. Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio versus Ilya Dragunov. Winner of the match in 10 minutes and 38 seconds And advancing to the 4-way next week, Ilya Dragunov, Dominic Mysterio chased off by Damian Priest. And it basically turned into a one-on-one match between Ilya Dragunov and Dragon Lee. And Ilya Dragunov picks the bones and wins the match in 10 minutes and 38 seconds. Okay, let's break it down here. Dragunov missed out on a shot at the IC title previously, courtesy of a referee stoppage during a match with Braun Breaker. His return and victory here advances him closer to revenge against the second-generation star and a chance to achieve his first main roster title. Damian Priest driving Dominic away made sense given his thirst for revenge, and more importantly, it prevented the cowardly heel from suffering another major loss following Bash in Berlin. Lee and Dragunov recovered nicely from a spot that did not go according to plan and still got to the destination. A sit-out powerbomb from Lee for a dramatic near fall, a sign of two experienced professionals. Ilya Dragunov is in that conversation surrounding the best wrestler in the world, and he's one of the most believable also. And then Dragon Lee and Ilya Dragunov engaged in a show of respect after the bell. 3 1/4, teetering on 3.5 for me. Very good match indeed. So not much more to say. MF, Ilya Dragunov punches his ticket to Calgary. He joins main event Jey Uso and Pete Dunne in that big 4-way next week. He wins this match in 10:38.
Yeah. At first, I was thinking that maybe they would give it to Dominic, let him get the opportunity. Apparently, that was not the case. And, well, we heard it. So it was a great matchup. It was about a 2.5 to 3 star bout. I totally agree with that. And there's really nothing more to add. So, yeah, Anthony Floyo, it's yours.
Okay. All right, MF, let's move on to our next match. And it was a number one contenders match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Of course, the new champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. They sat in at ringside for this match, and as it was Kairi Sane and Io Sky of Damage Control squaring off against Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. And the winners of the match, 8 minutes and 8 seconds, the Unholy Union. So Isla Dawn, Alba Fire, they win the match, 8 minutes and 8 seconds. So MF, I'm sure they probably technically had a rematch clause, but I guess they wanted them to earn it. But either way, Unholy Union, they're going to get their rematch, and they're going to get it next week in Calgary.
Yeah, they're going to get another shot at the titles. I don't know. I kind of felt like this. Why run this back? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know some people kind of felt certain way about it, but for me, I'm not as overly about it either. I mean, this is what, I don't know. I kind of felt like this is not, it is what it is. But the one thing I must address, or the one thing that I do want to think about after what happened after, was, did you see Kairi Sane and Bianca Belair?
Oh, yeah.
They almost went into fisticuffs. They were not having it.
Oh no.
That was the thing that kind of caught my eye. I was like, oh, wait a minute, what up with this? I mean, okay, Bianca, I gotta say, that was accidental. That was not deliberate.
But yeah, Isla Dawn pulled her in.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I kind of feel like that was a little bit of an unfortunate. I mean, Bianca, wrong place and wrong time, but Isla kind of roped you into that mess. But then all of a sudden, now you got a throwdown, a possible brawl for no reason. I don't know. I think only Union probably got under the skin on that one, but it is what it is. So, really nothing more to say. Like I said, about 2.5 to 3. Anthony, it's yours.
With new women's tag team champions Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair watching from ringside, Io Sky and Kairi Sane battled the unholy union to determine new number 1 contenders. And I'll tell you what, the tag team division, but like MF said, after the bell, Belair and Cargill stared down Damage Control, insinuating that the issues between the two teams are only getting started. The tag team division is more interesting than it has ever been, but there is still a noticeable lack of depth, which has resulted in some repetitive matchups. With that said, it is a welcome creative development to see Fire and Dawn not dispatched or forgotten about. Fire and Dawn was much needed, given the creative or lack thereof since their arrival on the main roster. They needed to rediscover momentum, and they did that here. With that said, the idea of a 3-way dance between these 3 teams after the heels just won the title gold in a similar match is not super appealing. But, it is what it is. So, 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. Then we had another in-ring segment. It was Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, cutting a promo, interrupted by Sami Zayn. You remember, Sami Zayn was the man who ended the record-setting reign of Gunther as the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion back at WrestleMania. And well, it looks like Sami Zayn is going to be his next challenger. This was another strong segment that introduced another new challenger in the form of Sami Zayn, who joined CM Punk earlier in the night as the 2 superstars to reveal their intentions to challenge for the gold. The options are intriguing, both matchups would be great, and Gunther could easily use either to help enhance his star. Gunther said of his victory Saturday, "I have beaten the greatest version of Randy Orton." Gunther told Sami Zayn that his heroes used the Intercontinental Championship as a stepping stone. He, however, has stepped down after losing the title. And Gunther showed great bravado here, but like any great heel, expressed obvious doubt as Sami Zayn reminded him that he beat him for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship back at WrestleMania and is the only superstar to do so on the main roster. My presumption is bad blood. Gunther, Sami Zayn, World Heavyweight Championship. Like I said, Gunther and Punk, I think they're holding that off until Survivor Series. Besides, you got to get that last Punk and McIntyre match done first. We took the big step towards that here tonight. So yeah, it's very likely going to be Gunther and Sami in Atlanta on October 5 for that World Heavyweight title. And I do believe Gunther will get the win back from WrestleMania. So,
yeah.
Nothing more to say. MF, your thoughts on this second strong segment of the night?
Yeah, no, this was a good segment as well. And remember how Sami Zayn won the match. Not only did he bring the Huluva kick back, but he pulled El Generico and Brainbustad on him. And you remember, I think that was the moment that I marked out during WrestleMania, because I have not seen Sami Zayn pull the Brainbuster out since literally, I could probably say back in the Ring of Honor days, and he did that to Kevin Owens. Remember the ladder war, and he pulled it on him, and he did that on a sitting ladder, and he did that Brainbuster on him.
Oh.
Go out of your way to watch that fight. One of the best ladder wars I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, there's really nothing more to say about it. It was, like you said, it was really good. The body of work was fine. I love how they brought it to the table. Here we go is what I would say about the whole thing. So yeah, nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it's all yours.
All right. And we move on to the next, the final triple threat match for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Unfortunately, some bad news was dropped earlier this afternoon by our own Michael Bullock, that Big Bronson Reed, who was scheduled to be in this triple threat match, had to pull out. He tested positive for COVID. Oh, man. What a damn shame, too. I mean, I don't think anybody on the Raw roster outside of Gunther had more momentum than Big Bronson Reed, especially after that insane spot he did on Braun Strowman last week in Providence. I mean, we saw it happen, even though it was outside of the arena. It happened, but still, I mean, we saw it on the video wall and all that. Man, tough. That is. Oh, I'm still gutted by that. So it was Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. Bronson Reed was supposed to be in the match. He was out, but the man he took out last week, Braun Strowman, was inserted into the match. And the winner of the match between Strowman, Sheamus, and Kaiser, 7 minutes and 39 seconds, Braun Strowman picks up the win. Sheamus had it won, but Pete Dunne got to him, attacked him again, and Strowman picked the bones, and now Braun Strowman rounds out the four-way. So MF, here we go. Jey Uso, Pete Dunne, Ilya Dragunov, Braun Strowman. The winner will be the next challenger for Braun Breaker and the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship after Strowman wins this triple threat in 7:38. But I know, as that's not even the main talking point. The main talking point, your boy, Big Bronson Reed, COVID. Just because it's not as bad as the pandemic years, it's still out there, unfortunately.
It's still out there, yeah. And there's more and more new variants that's coming out that's just as dangerous as the original was. But you know, the thing is, thanks to the testing and through everything else, you know, now COVID, if it does happen, it's not as deadly. It's not as devastating as it was originally. It still does have factors in there, but now you can get tested for it. You can get the vaccine for it. It is more wide open that you can get it. And you know, please, if you do get tested, always get the vaccine every year just to make sure that you're protected. It's like every other disease out there, flu, whatever. COVID's now become, I guess you can say, one of those tried and true type things. So just do whatever you can do just to, you know, stay safe. That's all we can say. Other than that, yeah, this was a solid match. But I don't understand the logic. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm happy Strowman got in there. I'm happy Strowman got the shot. What really made me wonder is, think about it. A week ago, you went through a car, destroyed, claiming that you couldn't feel your hands. So we were thinking, oh my God, back, spinal, something worse. But yet 1 week later, you show up to compete and win? Logic doesn't fit here right now. And I don't understand. How? Why? You got a full plethora of other guys in the locker room that you could have thrown into this fight. I don't know. I kind of have to call Triple H out on this and yell, "What the hell?" And that's just my personal thought on it. The booking doesn't make any logical sense for Strowman to go over. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. There's really nothing more to add. It was a fine fight. 2.5 to 3. Florio, go.
Yeah, makes no sense whatsoever. And but anyways, Braun Strowman takes his size and power advantage to a fatal four-way match next week against Pete Dunne, Ilya Dragunov, and Jey Uso, with a chance to earn a shot at Braun Breaker. It is not exactly what most would have expected after he was tsunami'd through the roof of a car a week ago. But if there is anyone who can deliver a strong performance against smaller opponents, it is the big man here. And not enough made of Sheamus' desperation to win the one title that has eluded him in his WWE career. And backstage before the match, Braun Breaker warned Jey Uso to drop out of the tournament. and keep chasing after Dominic Mysterio's sloppy seconds and drop out of the tournament, he said. And Uso vowed to beat Breakker, take his title, and kick his ass while doing it. Yeet. So, oh yeah. So, not much more to say on that. So, 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star is my rating for this as well. And speaking of Mr. Yeet himself, he was in the main event of tonight's Monday Night Raw, a tag team main event. Main event, Jey Uso teaming up with Damian Priest at the request of Rhea Ripley to take on World Tag Team Champions Finn Balor and JD McDonough of the Judgment Day. Non-title match, by the way. And it was main event Jey Uso and Damian Priest winning the match, 14 minutes and 26 seconds. No question about it. This was the fight of the night here. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. And the amount of talent in the ring will always deliver between the ropes. And for the most part, this was a fun and energetic conclusion to the show that continued the babyface's revenge over the heels. That Jey Uso was able to slide in here and make sense within the context of the story, while also apparently feuding with Braun Breaker over the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, is a testament to Triple H and the creative team's ability to interject wrestlers in more than one ongoing storyline. Let me tell you this. That visual at the end, Jey Uso, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley is a trio that can make WWE a lot of money. Really. And great tag team action here, but it would have been nice for there to be a bigger deal made out of the fact that Jey Uso and Damian Priest just pinned the World Tag Team Champions. So could there be a championship committee moment here? Could we see Jey Uso and Damian Priest challenge for the World Tag Team Championship? It's very possible. So 3.5, 3 3/4, fight of the night for me. So not much more to say. MF, your thoughts on the main event?
Yeah, solid main event, very good matchup. 3 1/4, no doubt about it. Yeah, we'll see how this plays out, but I will say this is gonna be very interesting to say. So we'll see how it plays out. Look, they've looked really good lately. So yeah, really nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
MF, you lead off on the overall thoughts. Monday Night Raw from Denver.
I gotta go. Honestly, truthfully, I'll probably say about maybe 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I thought it was a really good show. The action was pretty good. I don't think there was really anything bad about it. So yeah, I would say about 7.5 to 8 out of 10. And Anthony, I'll give it to you.
7.5 to 8. This was another great show from the Red Brand, which is consistently rivaling SmackDown in terms of show quality at this point. We had the introduction of new rivalries, the continuation of the Judgment Day versus Terror Twins storyline, the latest developments in the Intercontinental Championship #1 contender tournament, and the introduction of Sami Zayn as Gunther's next challenger for the World Heavyweight Championship, all on the heels of a premium live event. And next week's show is even more packed as the season premiere episode goes up against another season premiere, Monday Night Football, for the first time next week. And oh boy, we got a doozy, folks. A game that very easily could have been myself and MF's game next week. The New York Jets and the San Francisco 49ers. Oof. That's going to be something. So let the true Monday Night War begin. Raw versus Monday Night Football. Let's go. So 7.5 to 8 for me. And special Tony Steak here tonight. Tonight, we are going to address the TNA Emergence special that aired on TNA Plus this past Friday night. From the Old Foresters Paris Town Hall in Louisville, Kentucky. Like I said, exclusively on TNA Plus. We had 2 pre-show matches. We had Kushida squaring off against Frankie Kazarian. Frankie Kazarian winning the match, 9 minutes and 57 seconds. And then for the TNA Digital Media Championship and the Canadian International Heavyweight Championship, the champion PCO defending against an opponent of Matt Cardona's choosing. It turned out to be Mahabali Shera. Winner of the match, 5 minutes and 58 seconds, and still the TNA Digital Media Champion and Canadian International Heavyweight Champion, it is PCO. We kicked off the main card with the Ultimate X match for the TNA X Division Championship. The champion, Speedball Mike Bailey, defending against Zachary Wentz, Alexander Hammerstone, Jason Hotch, Laredo Kid, and NXT's Riley Osborne. Winner of the match, 10 minutes and 23 seconds. And new TNA X Division Champion, Zachary Wentz. Of course, we kind of gave that away over the weekend, of course. But, yep, Zachary Wentz, this is where he won the title. Like I said, it was an excellent match there. So, 10 minutes, 23 seconds, time of the fall, Wentz wins the title. Great 48 hours for him. You know, he wins this on Friday. And then last night, of course, knocking off Wes Lee at NXT No Mercy. So, great 48 hours. And we'll see if that translates into tomorrow night's NXT. Eric Young goes one-on-one with Steve Macklin. Steve Macklin wins the match, 9 minutes and 53 seconds. 6 knockout tag team matchup. Ash by Elegance, teaming up with the Knockouts tag team champions, the Militia, Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich. They went up against the Knockouts champion, Jordan Grace, and Spitfire, Danny Luna and Jody Threat. And it was Jordan Grace and Spitfire winning the match, 8 minutes and 3 seconds. TNA World Tag Team Championship on the line. AJ Francis teaming up with Casey Navarro, representing First Class. They challenged Ace Austin and Chris Bay, the ABC, for the World Tag Team Championships. And the winners of the match in 11 minutes and 40 seconds, and still the TNA World Tag Team Champions. It is ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay. 8-man tag team action. It was the System. All 4 members of the System, Moose, Brian Myers, Johnny Dango Curtis, and Eddie Edwards, squaring off against Joe Henry, Mike Santana, and the Hardys. And the System win the match in 19 minutes and 17 seconds. And then the main event of the evening, 60-minute Iron Man match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Nick Nemeth, defending the title against Josh Alexander. 10 minutes. The first fall came at 10 minutes and 55 seconds. Nick Nemeth with an inside cradle, and he went up 1-0. And then at 24 minutes and 31 seconds, Nick Nemeth with a danger zone on Josh Alexander. Nemeth up two falls to none. And then at 44 minutes and 3 seconds, Josh Alexander makes the board with a C4 spike, cuts the lead to 2-1. And then 43 seconds later, at 44-46, Alexander hits another C4 spike on Nick Nemeth to even the bout at 2 falls apiece. If it had ended in a tie after 60 minutes, they would have done the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 12, where the next fall, sudden death wins. And then at 59 minutes and 49 seconds, with 11 seconds to go, Nick Nemeth beats Josh Alexander with his own move. Nick Nemeth pins Josh Alexander with a C4 spike, and after 1 full hour of grueling action, the winner and still TNA World Heavyweight Champion by a final score of 3-2, Nick Nemeth retains the title. But then, okay, you're thinking, okay, pay-per-view's over. I mean, special's over. Nothing more to see here. Great match. Wait 1 second. John Bradshaw Layfield. What in the world is he doing in TNA? What is this all about? He comes in and he says something to Nick Nemeth. We obviously couldn't hear what he said, but I don't know what that means. I mean, I'm hopeful that come Thursday night on Impact, we'll get our answers. But John Bradshaw Layfield in TNA, I never thought I'd see the day, considering how loyal he's always been to WWE. So, very surprising to see him. So, I'm very interested. I'm intrigued to see where this goes. So that is that. I don't know anything about this upcoming show because they usually don't tell us what's going to go on beforehand. But we don't have much time because we got another TNA Plus special in only 11 days. On the 13th of this month, we got another TNA Plus special. And next week here on Ridiculously Raw, I'm going to set the table for that show. It's one of their well-known shows, Victory Road. And this will be the final stop before the biggest event of the year, Bound for Glory, on October 26th in Detroit, Michigan. So that is that. And that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you Wednesday night, 10 or 10:30 over on MF's channel, Race Fan 95, for another edition of Wednesday Night Madness. We got a loaded show. We got NXT. We got AEW Dynamite. We might have to address the All Out pay-per-view. And, of course, the Thursday night football opener, the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. And then Thursday night, College Football Thursday, Week 2, the headliner, of course, Texas and Michigan. Oh, what a game that's going to be. And then Friday night, we got NFL Friday, the season premiere of NFL Friday. We'll talk about the Ravens and the Chiefs. We'll address the Packers and the Eagles as well. And then we'll set the table for the remainder of Week 1. And then we'll go from there. So that's it. So until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness, over on the MF's channel, Raceway 95, this is Anthony Florio here. For good old MF, Michael Fletcher. And in spirit, the phenom Michael Bullock. And, of course, always and forever, the first lady of our show, the one and only Twisted Angel Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Zone 25 on YouTube and Streamy.com. But remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.